Mr. Gregory Sword. Mr. Sword, welcome to the committee. You have 5 minutes for your opening statement. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you for having me. I lost my daughter 2 years ago to this opioid crisis. I fought for the last 2 years to save her life, and I failed. The ease that she was able to get safe supply was just one click on Snapchat, and she would be able to get any drug she wanted within 5 minutes. She was in and out of the hospital for the last 2 years of her life. Her first incident of an overdose was on fentanyl. The mental health was called in to give her a report, and within 5 minutes she was released from the hospital, saying that she was okay. For my daughter, she was suffering from ADHD. When we did the lockdown for COVID, it took her out of her regular routine and she had no escape. She wasn't used to being confined for the entire day, so she started to go more and more online. At that point, she started to dabble. She first started off with marijuana, which then went to bars, which was the street Xanax. And then finally, she was introduced to dillies. Me being a naive father, she would talk about going out for a dilly bar. To me, that's ice cream, so it never raised any concern to me. She would hang out at Dairy Queen with all of our other friends. It progressed from there into the point where she had another overdose, almost a year to the day before she died. We had 1 year to save her, and we failed. Every time a youth counselor would come in, they'd give me the same thing. She has to ask verbally for help. My daughter was stubborn. She would never ask anyone for help. Me being a father, I had to sit there and watch my daughter commit suicide for a year without able to help her. We would have drug counselors who would come in to talk to her, and they would tell her that marijuana is okay for her to continue to use. It took me right out of the picture. I could not control any substance my daughter took. In her mind, that gave her the right to keep on smoking marijuana, which put me in the hardest position of my life. Do I let her go to the streets to get her marijuana, or do I become a drug dealer to my own daughter? I took the latter and started to give my daughter the marijuana she needed to make sure that she was getting a safe amount. But that wasn't good enough for her. She liked the pills. And the ease that she was able to get the pills was unbelievable. She would go to the local park and she would have what they call safe supply within 5 minutes. And she was embarrassed of doing it. Her and her friends, after the second overdose, decided that they needed to stop, but they would not ask for professional help. She got to the point where she was embarrassed and she is an addict, so she started to hide it. She would wait till I went to sleep, then she would take her pill in her bed. I would be gone to work the next morning, so I would never see the effect of it until I got that fateful phone call that she was found dead in her bedroom. Since then, I've reached out and tried to figure out what went wrong. I've talked to MLAs. I've talked to the police. The police keep on telling me that they're handcuffed. Talking to counselors, they don't have enough resources. My daughter's best friend, after she died, has overdosed 2 more times. Her other best friend has overdosed 3 more times since her death. We finally got one of them into rehab. After she finally reached out and asked for help, it took her a month and a half to find a bed. For a teenager, a month and a half is a lifetime, especially when they're struggling with addiction. We could have lost that girl very quickly because we do not have the funding to help these children overcome their addictions. That's everything I got to say right now.
Thank you, Mr. Sword. Next.